Okay, this is we're here. It's episode 5 of the Pocket Rock Podcast. We made it another week, and we are getting through it. We're trying a bunch of new technical stuff today, so we're going 17 different directions now as well. So that's a lot of people will be able to see us for the first time.
Look, that's Troy. I'm Biscuit. I just slid into the
Biscuit's
picture.
over here.
Was I safe or was I out?
You were safe.
Awesome. They can see us do this now, just for this second.
Yeah, well, and we thought this would be something that we could try out one time because it was very successful. It was very successful the other night on not on Pocket Rock Podcast. That's us. It was very successful the other night on
Sunday Funday.
Sunday Funday.
We did it.
Which was pretty cool.
We did it unannounced, and it turned out very nicely. And I told Troy, who sat in for Mad-Eye on Sunday Funday, that we needed to do this. So we did, and that's where we are. So it's going to be an interesting thing. This should be on YouTube, and we have a YouTube channel. I totally forgot to mention. So that's going to be fun. And Troy's going to talk now after he double-clicks his person. Hey!
It's one of those things. We're working on it. We're going to get everything figured out. And so at the same time that we're actually dealing with video on one side, and then on the other side we've got the computer up so that we can see everything. And so we're trying to we've got a lot of irons in the fire this week, so things are a little odd. But I do want to start out the same way we always do and talk about who the bands are coming up this week. First of all, tonight, that is Tuesday, July the 18th, Jägermuffin is hosting open mic night at Gabriel's in Hoover, Alabama. Thursday night, Sick Thrill is going to be playing at The Warrior in Tallahassee, Florida. We've got Alabama Avenue Friday night at Twilight Reloaded in Newman, Georgia. And then that same Alabama Avenue on Saturday night at the Rodeo Club in Dadeville, Alabama.
Let me stop you real quick.
Sure, go ahead.
Before we move into Saturday, I want to take a quick second to tell you about Friday night here in Prattville, Alabama at the Blue Iguana. There is going to be a band called Handshake Promises.
Yep.
Have you heard of this band?
I have heard of it.
They are all studio musicians out of Florence, Alabama. Going to be a good night. Just throwing that out there.
Cool.
It's very exciting. They've played with the world's best. So looking forward to that one. And again, that's Handshake Promise in Prattville, Alabama at the Blue Iguana.
On which night?
Friday night.
Okay, so Friday night at the Blue Iguana with Handshake Promise. And then Saturday night, July 22nd, at the Revelry Bar and Grill in Hendersonville, Tennessee. You got Contagion coming your way.
Our boy Ron Cat.
Yes, sir. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and I think that's all we got for this week. We haven't had nearly as many people get involved as the. And I'm trying to get this. Once again, y'all have to excuse us if things sound a little funky this week because we're also trying to incorporate the video into it, and that's what I was looking to try to do.
He has to know which way to touch it.
I have to know which way to touch it.
That's what he was trying to do, everyone. You see that? Isn't that beautiful? You can see Biscuit and Troy
at the same time.
That's kind of scary.
So, and that way I can check over here to make sure that our audio is recording properly.
You know what Wasted Wade calls that?
What's that?
A whole lot of hell no.
Yeah, that's very much what it is. Very, very much so what it is. So that's we didn't have anything on the community calendar this week either. So
nothing.
We want to let everybody know once again, if you don't tell us about it, we can't tell everybody else about it.
That's correct.
Once again, you can go to PocketRockPodcast.com. You can go to the website there, and on the contact us page, that's got information. It's got a little form that you can fill out, shoot it into us. It takes 5 minutes. If you're a band and you are not using this absolutely free service.
Did you say free?
I did say free.
I was making sure you said free.
Free. I know it doesn't cost a dime.
My
Not
daddy,
a dime.
My
Not
daddy,
a penny.
My daddy taught me my name was Alan unless it's free, because if it's free, it's me.
Right.
But then they call me Biscuit, so If it's double free, it's double biscuits.
Double biscuits.
I think I said that right. I don't know.
We'll go with that.
Just get it in.
Just get it into us. That's all it takes. You can either shoot it to us at pocketrockpodcast@gmail.com, or you can go to pocketrockpodcast.com, and there's a contact us with a form there. You just fill it out and shoot it in, and we'll tell people about it. But if you don't tell us, we can't let everybody else know. And any band that is not intelligent enough.
Ooh.
Yeah, I said it. Not intelligent enough to use any sort of free advertising that is thrown their way.
You've been licking your lips. They're a little salty, aren't they?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
Making sure.
If they're not willing to spend the time to get some free advertising, then what are you doing?
No, that is a good point there, Mr. Troy Mowers, sir.
I mean, it's I don't know. I being a musician, I try to use every avenue that I possibly can to promote our shows and let people know where we're going to be. And
well, I'm hoping this little video here kind of helps them understand we're real people.
Yeah,
we're right here.
I'm mostly real.
Right here on video. So, send it in. Also, we've discussed it before we got started tonight. If you have a band you like to see and you're a fan of that band, send it in.
Absolutely.
Only thing I'm going to ask of you is when we do post it, that you tag the band in it and let them know that, hey, we're supporting you. You're welcome. You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because, like I said, it doesn't work unless we all work together.
Is that your new word? Absolutely. You said
Absolutely.
it 3 times in a row.
That is my favorite. It's been a very, very well used word this week.
You have not used the word yet. I'm
exactly. Hey,
nice.
I'm doing much better.
Nice.
Doing much better.
Been practicing.
Well, I don't know about practicing, but I've been
don't
very
lie.
tired.
You stand in front of the bathroom mirror every morning. My name is Troy. I like cheese.
I do like cheese.
I know.
I'm a big fan of cheese. Cheese is good.
Cheese actually helps the dreaming cycle of your brain.
Does it really?
Doesn't say you'll have better dreams or worse dreams, but you will have
more vivid dreams.
Thank you. We're getting there. This is episode 5. We are finally getting there.
I think by the time we hit around episode 20, we should be pretty simpatico.
I think we'll be divorced and remarried to each other because
That's
otherwise
very
we're going to
possible.
be very confused. Women spend time next to each other to get on the same cycle. Men spend as much time around each other. What happens?
I don't know.
You'll find out.
I don't know.
Because we're not going anywhere. You send the band stuff in or not, we're still not quitting.
Right. Exactly. Ooh, my mic was a little hot there, so I'm gonna fix that. So yeah, send it in. We can't promote it if you're not willing to promote yourself. And we'll just leave it at that. We got the community calendar, we got the band calendar. It's on our website, pocketrockpodcast.com, and you can go there and check out and see who's playing, see who's actually promoting themselves, and which bands are sending their information in, and we'll go from there.
Nice.
Yeah. So how was your week?
Busy.
Yeah, what'd you do this weekend?
Well, started off in Opelika, Alabama at the bottling plant, actually, with the Velcro Pygmy.
How is that venue?
It's nice.
Is it?
Little confusing. They've got some bugs that they still need to work out.
Is it a new venue?
Well, it's been around for about 1.5 years or 2.
Okay.
They don't have a formal POS system, so it's all on cards. And
Oh, wow.
We had a little bit of issue at the end of the night with 2 Adams being in the room.
Oh, Lord.
And we caught on that they weren't asking our first names, and yeah. But it's a great venue. They're always very friendly, always a great time,
That's cool.
They took care of it. by
Good
the way.
stage?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
Awesome. And then Saturday was actually Saturday was a round robin of a day. We put in new doors at the 151. Got
Beautiful.
some new French doors, and that night I took my wife Dix out to see Tim Hawkins of all people.
Cool. Where was he at?
Impact, Montgomery
Impact.
Performing Arts Center. He
Awesome.
He gave us some good laughs, and then we ended up the night in Prattville at the Blue Iguana
Back at the Blue?
for Almost Kings.
Oh, and it's always a good show, man. Those guys are,
and see,
those
people
guys
can
are-
see the
those-
smile on my face when I said
Well,
that,
and they can.
because there is just something about that group of guys.
Man, they're a great bunch of guys, first of all, and number 2, they're incredibly talented.
Oh, incredibly!
And they play so well together. So, guys, honestly, if you have not seen Almost Kings, you are definitely not doing yourself a favor.
Oh, man, you're not kidding. But you had a big weekend. And then Sunday we wrapped with Sunday Fun Day. Obviously, you were there.
I was there. That was a lot of fun. It was very interesting. We had drums for the first time.
It was the second time.
Was it the second time?
Yeah, but we need to look at a TV schedule because we haven't been doing this format for a while, and Game of Thrones is starting back up. So we had some
Game
people.
of Thrones watcher. Although I have the first season, which I'm getting ready to start, but I'm watching like 6 different.
I think it's in its final season. So this is winter's here. Winter's coming. Winter's here. So.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to watching the whole series. But I want to. I'm almost kind of waiting now that I've waited so long. It's like, okay, well, let's just let it all finish, and then I'll go get all the seasons and watch them at once.
Well, just like a clock. There's 4 quarters to the show,
right?
And this is my favorite show ever. Okay, that's my favorite character. No, oh my God, why? And then the hell with this, I'm never watching it again. And it's just a cycle for season after season after season.
I have noticed that. I do follow. You know, you can't help but hear about the big events that have happened. You know, the Red Wedding and things like that.
Yeah.
When they happen, you find out about it. And me being a movie junkie, which I think you can probably attest to, looking down the hall there.
He ain't got no movies up in here.
I ain't got no movies.
He got some dervders.
Yeah, a little bit. But being a movie junkie, and especially about the making of stuff, I follow a lot of the making of the series and stuff like that, and how they do some of the effects and stuff like that is pretty cool.
Can I have a screen?
Yeah, you can have a screen.
I gotta tell you something.
All right, what you gonna tell me?
Tim Burton's working on Dumbo.
Did you not know that already?
I found out.
I knew that about 6 months ago.
Okay, you can do the little split screen again.
Okay,
double tap yourself.
Up at the top here?
No. And
oh, okay.
Back over.
Oh, see, I think I got it now.
I learned this system in almost 24 hours now.
This is a pretty cool little system.
It is. We're not going to give away what it is, though.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Well,
anyways, I was excited. Sorry. I'm a big Tim Burton fan, so. And
okay.
Dumbo is
cool.
Dumbo is like, Dumbo relates to live music because live music is about being a misfit sometimes.
Did you just find out because D23 was going on this weekend?
Don't give my secrets away.
Like I said, I'm a movie buff as well, so I know all about D23 going on.
Well then, Mr. Big Shot. What other movies is he working on?
Tim Burton or Disney?
Disney.
Disney is also working on a live action version of The Lion King, which they showed the first footage this weekend at D23.
Yes, they did.
And I read the descriptions of it, and they said it's pretty amazing. Because I love The Jungle Book. The Jungle Book was great. That was a lot of fun.
You want to be like...
And Jon Favreau, man. Jon Favreau is doing The Lion King.
So what about Tim Burton?
I like Tim Burton. I liked his version of Alice in Wonderland.
I loved it.
The first one.
Yes.
Not the second one was good, but it wasn't great.
I refuse to watch the second one because I've never seen a sequel other than The Hangover and Rush Hour, where the sequels actually played into.
And I'm gonna tell you something you're probably gonna get onto me for.
Well, it's live, so I can't hit you this time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. We have cameras here.
And I'm wearing pants.
Did not like The Hangover at all.
Why?
Not any of them.
Why? Is it because you're a hippie and you're old?
Just
I'm gonna
find it
out now.
Didn't find it humorous.
Dude, he killed a giraffe because he stole it from the zoo and he driving the giraffe down the 405 in a convertible.
Didn't find it humorous. I thought the whole thing felt very forced.
You'll just never be part of my wolf pack.
I guess so. No, seriously, the whole thing felt a little forced to me.
Well, Hangover 2 felt forced when they went to Thailand. No.
Yeah, I only saw the first half of that one.
It's the one where they were in Thailand with Leslie Chang chasing him. That one didn't make a lot of sense to me.
The first one I had a lot of problems with, and therefore...
Why? Because of Mike Tyson's tiger?
No, that doesn't bother me at all. It just... To me, I had seen a lot of other much more funny movies right at that time that came out, and that one just fell really short of the other movies that I'd seen.
Remember that use of the word longevity of life?
Mm-hmm.
It's playing a very key factor in what we're talking about right now.
I guess so.
Because there's nothing like Mike Tyson knocking a man out for stealing his tiger.
Oh yeah, there is.
I mean,
yeah, there is.
And
Absolutely.
Then the little "What do tigers dream of?"
Have you seen Clerks 2?
Yeah.
Donkey show, man. That's all I gotta say.
I mean,
it's one of the funniest scenes ever in a movie.
But you're a Kevin Smith fan.
I am a Kevin Smith fan.
I mean, of course you're gonna say Clerks 2.
I am a Kevin Smith fan.
By the way, if y'all don't know, I'm gonna show Troy's toys. Don't break into his house, please. He's gonna kill me if this goes missing.
That's right. That's Jay, also known as Jay there.
And then this guy.
Silent Bob was that's Jay. The one that you had in your hand is Silent Bob. Actually, Blunt Man and Chronic are the characters that you have there in front of you.
I'm aware of Blunt Man and Chronic.
From Jay and Silent Bob.
Yep.
Strike Back.
Correct.
Great movie.
Correct. So what about your weekend, Troy? Let's
my weekend started on Tuesday. Lasted until Sunday night. Yeah, I know. I had shows Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Sunday doesn't count.
It counted. If I have to leave the house with my equipment and go play for other people,
did you say play?
Counts.
Did you just really want to just say play a shit show?
No,
that's what I heard.
I was saying play a show.
Well, and it also helps when the audience isn't drunk by the time you get there, and the audience being.
You mean the
host.
Performers?
Yeah, well that too. Hey, we're unscripted there. Don't judge us.
No, I don't. I had a blast. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. So
learned a lesson.
No, but we did. Jägermuffin. We do our little acoustic thing every Tuesday night, and we did that, and then also played at a new club Thursday night in Tuscaloosa. Friday night was the night though. Friday was amazing.
And that was at the Furniture Factory.
Furniture Factory in Huntsville, Alabama, with Hunting Delilah.
Now,
and that's
the one hooked up to a pub or a brewery. Furniture Factory.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. It's a indoor outdoor venue.
Mm-hmm.
You walk in the front. For those of you not familiar with the Furniture Factory in Huntsville, Alabama. You walk into the front of the place, and they had a dude up there playing piano and doing like Billy Joel songs and stuff. It was very cool.
I like Billy Joel.
Yeah, me too. And then you walk through and out the back of the club, and it comes out into this humongous courtyard that's outdoors with a stage. So it's one of those places where if you don't have if you don't have bad weather, it's a phenomenal club to hang out at. Big stage, everybody was into the show, and people were up and dancing, and it was really cool. And unfortunately, you don't always find cool clubs like that these days. Some of the ones you play at, will eventually, as far as from a musician standpoint, clubs will come and clubs will go. You'll find the ones that work really well for what you do, and you'll stick with those. And then you'll find the ones that don't really go for what you do, and those, you play them once or twice, and then that's probably it. And this is one that we hope to play for a long time, because it was amazing. And then another Jägermuffin show on Saturday night, and Sunday Funday on Sunday. So it was a long week for me. I did not get a lot of sleep.
Your voice was crackling yesterday.
Yeah, I know this.
Troy got there, had to ask him. I was just, hey man, you gonna be able to do this, or what's the deal? And he was just like, don't make me sing by myself. And the thing is
first thing they did was make me sing by myself.
Yeah, if you've ever seen Sunday Funday, which if you haven't, your life is probably a lot more full. But if you have seen it, you know that anytime we have Troy on or a special guest on, we like to turn them into the feature. So poor Troy had to deal with us, and me and Brandon, the new drummer, because we have a drummer now. Who knew? We stood on the pool deck a little too long. I was eating a jar of peanut butter by the time Troy got there.
That's
talking
true.
About protein's gonna make me sober. I don't know. I mean, that was a bad idea.
It happens.
And I don't do shows like that. It's not me. It was just weird for that to have gone down like that.
Yeah, but it's Sunday Funday, so it's all good.
Yeah, and as
that's one thing I enjoy about doing Sunday Funday is
there's no
Sunday
mess
Funday,
ups.
man.
You can't mess it up. Well,
yeah.
unless you drop a couple bad words, and unless you play a song that gets you kicked off, unless you say something plagiarized.
Right.
You see where I'm going with that. There's always
I got you.
always something you have to remember you can't do. But this week we got tied up with Game of Thrones.
Yeah. It's all right.
We get more viewers during football season than we do a Game of Thrones season.
Yeah. And I think, that's the only ones that I ever missed watching when I was just a watcher at during football season was if the Steelers were playing on Sunday night.
Yeah, and we try to.
But usually, it's over long before then.
Right.
So.
Well, it depends. Again, it's a night game or the 4:00 game, and you're trying to catch the end. We have an hour to get it in, and that's where we have to make a decision. If it's a blowout, we're going to start early. If it's not a blowout, we're going to start late and end early. If it's something that's going on, and the second game is an 0-4 versus a 7-0,
right,
or 4-0, we're not going to stop early because, it's going to be a blowout. So we try to pay attention. So yeah, if you've never seen Sunday Funday,
what's wrong with you? Either that or they don't know us yet. Because once again,
this is
every episode is going to be somebody's first episode.
I like how you said that.
Yeah.
I like how you said that. And we have one rule about new listeners, and that is you don't support us. You join us.
That's right.
You join in the conversation.
Absolutely.
That's what social media is for.
Speaking of joining in the conversation, one of the things that I think...
Hold on, let me lick my lips.
No, we ain't. We're not. We're going to get there. We're going to get there.
I've already been warned.
But I think what we need to talk about first is a little idea that we had.
Oh yeah.
And I think this would be a good opportunity to get some feedback from our listenership, even though there may not be a ton right now. There will be over time. And one of the things that I think that we have talked about a good bit is, and this is for mostly people in the Alabama area. For those of you who are listening outside of the state of Alabama, hey, take notes because this would be a cool thing to do in your state as well. And we'll go back there. Several years ago, there used to be an event that was held, and I think it was originally it was one Tuesday a month, and then for a while it happened, I think, every other week when it first started. But there used to be an event in Birmingham that was called Vulgar Bulge.
Vulgar
Bulge. And some people I know out there right now are, as they listen to us, are grinning because they've been to a Vulgar Bulge or two.
Been to one?
Yep.
Don't recall.
Been to quite a few of them myself.
I plead the fifth. That's what they told me to tell them.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I plead the fifth. I don't know what happened that night.
But to give you an idea of what Vulgar Bulge is, a lot of people have heard of open mic nights and things like that. And it's kind of that thing. One of the bigger rock clubs in town would set up different instruments on stage, drum set, guitar amps, bass amps, and then they would invite, it was usually hosted by a different group of musicians every week who would bring their gear out for other people to sit in on, and they'd have live music, and that group of musicians usually wasn't a band,
and it was on a Tuesday,
right? So usually it was the drummer from one band and the guitar player from a different band, a bass player from another band, and a singer from a different band, and so it was kind of cool opportunity for musicians who don't normally get to play together. And the cool thing is that they kind of opened it to the public, so it was a chance for any musician to come out and sit in. And the cool thing is that bands could say, oh man, I know that dude from that band, let me get him, and he knows this other guy from this other band, and let's get him, and we'll get up and
networking.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. And it was a cool way for these little, and as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that a couple of bands formed because of this, or musicians were able to join other bands because of this. And I know that we're not going to talk about it, but there are a rash of bands disappearing right now. I know.
Mm-mm.
I know. Don't get you started.
Mm-mm.
But this is a cool way. That was always a cool way for musicians to get together and jam and see, who clicked and all that stuff. But it was entertaining for the crowd at the same time. So we thought. Go ahead and tell them that.
Well, here's the deal. We thought we'd bring it to Central. We'd bring it back. I mean, that's all you can say. But it's going to be a little different. We're going to start it in hopefully Prattville at the Blue Iguana.
And it'll have a different name because we didn't come up with Vulgar Balls.
Correct.
Somebody else did that.
Well, I happen to know the guy, a good friend of mine, kind of family. And but I don't think we're going to keep the name. I think we're going to do something completely different. And the idea is networking. We're going to start it off in Prattville, Alabama. We've gotten the blessing from the Blue Iguana for the most part. And I think we have to kind of dot some I's, cross some T's there.
Yep.
And I know TC is a avid listener, so he's probably grinning ear to ear right now.
Either that or he's going to throw something at us next time we see him.
I'm going to carry my camera everywhere from now on. And the idea here, and now I'm saying every 5 seconds.
Drink.
Yep. So the idea would be a Tuesday night, no cover to get in, and we invite the musicians out. And you network, you have a good time, you learn who everybody is, and you make fans, you make friends. I know, because we all need another reason to make friends. As I shake my head at the camera. And that would be it. And obviously Pocket Rock Podcast would be the host of it, and we would actually shoot a podcast live, so it would kind of turn into maybe a twice a week podcast at that point, or we would do an extra one a month, depending on our format. But that would give guys time to come in, be a part of what we're building here.
Right.
And now, you ready to drink? Because we would synergize and use synergy while building this thing. Ain't that how funny that is? Ain't that funny?
The coolest thing for me is I just think it'd be neat to see, different musicians get together and jam on stage and as a musician, being able to see that, seeing combinations of people get up and jam together that you wouldn't have thought of putting together, but it happens. And, but I think really what we need from the listeners out there, I mean, other than just to tell them about it, is we want your feedback.
Hey, did I mention no cover? Because that's part of the deal. Okay.
Hey, we got to the no cover this week, one way or the other.
You know what goes well with no covers?
What's that?
Mitchell's Wieners.
Mitchell's Wieners. And we got to see Mitchell's Wieners Sunday.
We did.
We did. For those of you who missed the Sunday Funday broadcast,
it went limp.
You missed it. You missed it. That's all I'm saying. You missed it. You need to go back and find it. But we'd love to hear from the listeners out there. What would you like to see for an event like this? If we did it once a month, every other week, every 3 weeks, every other month, once a month, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Monday night.
But here's the deal.
Sunday night.
If you tell us you want to do it every month, you've got to support it every month. I mean, every week. A lot of work goes into this. I'm gonna preach to the choir because I'm the fan, but from my end of it, I'm the one that has to get it put together. So if you say every week and we have a abundance of every week answers, we need to make sure we're supporting it and marketing it correctly. But if you want to do it every other week or once a month, it's going to be the same thing, but it'll be more special that way.
Right.
Especially starting out. Now, if we can grow this thing bigger, it's going to be a different story. Now, Birmingham, we need to talk to you.
Yep.
Because this is where the big one's going to happen, which they'll both be the same concept, same ideas. However, there's a lot more musicians in Birmingham who have begged and begged and begged for something like this to come back around. We need a venue. You just tell us where, and we will make it happen.
Yep.
No.
What we need from you is what night, where, that sort of thing. Give us the information, and we're going to give you several different avenues that you can get back in touch with us and let us know. We've got on our webpage at pocketrockpodcast.com, where a lot of you listen to this podcast. We have a guest book on the website, and right now the guest book is not being used for anything. So all you have to do on there is go to the website, go to the page that says guest book, and click on the button that says leave a comment, and just let us know. Tell us what you think.
Just leave a comment. It tells you what to do.
Absolutely. You can also go to our Facebook page, Pocket Rock Podcast page on Facebook, and shoot us a message there. We'll probably do a post about it to sometime today or tomorrow, and that just kind of explains, hey, we're looking at doing an open mic night for bands to get together and jam. Where and when would you like to see it? And you guys just chime in and let us know. That's all we ask for. A little participation, easy to do, very, very simple, and that will give us the information that we need to go forward. Or is it something that you guys are just not interested in?
We'll take that too.
We'll take that too. Any feedback is positive feedback as far as I'm concerned.
We just want to know if somebody's using our website, honestly. That's why we keep pointing you there. So if you could use our website, that would be great.
Yeah.
Use it.
It'd be fantastic. And, you can always listen to the podcast on iTunes, and I think you can make comments on iTunes as well.
I believe so.
I don't use iTunes very much for podcast stuff. I usually use...
for the record, our site's not monetized, so don't think for 1 second we're pushing you over there to make money.
Nope.
Because I get that from people a lot.
We don't make a dime off of it.
Biscuit Knows Best is not monetized. Sunday Funday is not monetized. We do this out of the enjoyment of doing it for some weird reason.
Right.
But we do.
And being musicians and fans, we want this to work for everybody.
So,
because, like I said, there have been a lot of talk about some different bands on Facebook, and some that we know are going away and things like that, and the whole point of this is that if we don't figure out a way for this to work with all of us, then there aren't going to be any more live bands, and there aren't going to be any more places to go see live bands.
Look at me. If you're watching this on YouTube, look me dead in the eyes. If we can't figure out how to work together, nobody's going to be working soon. It's just that simple.
Yep.
And I'm telling you from a fan's perspective, we tired of the drama. We're tired of everything else. These bands want to talk about each other, and then they want to quit because they don't want to change who they are, but they want to play a venue. We either work together or you're not working. I mean, it's just that simple. And I hate to put it that way, but he started it.
I did. But whatever it takes, I'm willing to do whatever we need to do to make it more enjoyable for everyone else. You know what I mean? Whatever it's going to take. Oh, we were backwards.
That was awesome.
That was pretty cool. But whatever it takes to make it, get back to the day. Like I said, we played Huntsville this weekend, and man,
nice.
People came out in droves, and I felt the show was better because of it. Now, I as a musician, I am always going to do my best to play like I'm playing in Madison Square Garden to 20,000 people.
And I'm going to get drunk like I'm not at Madison Square Garden because it is expensive. I'm going to drink like I'm more at my backyard.
There you go.
I'm going to try to get drunk now. And I'm going to try to have a good time.
Exactly.
Now, the day that I quit getting drunk and quit having a good time, somebody's in trouble.
Right.
And I say that jokingly. My mother's listening going, my son's the drunk. Great. Now they put him on the radio. No. Sorry, Mom. But I'm with you on that, and I just want to make that clear. Because I think people take, and let's go ahead and get this out there, I think people take fans way for granted. And then when they don't take them for granted, they overuse them a whole hell of a lot.
Right.
And I'm not saying find a perfect medium with the fans, because we're here. We want to be used. We want to be a part of something. Same way you wanted to be a part of something, and same way with being in a band.
Right.
And there's been some issues we've had in the first 4 episodes. I'm going to go ahead and we're gonna bring it up right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because
absolutely.
I just fed myself the line. If you don't know my resume is pretty extensive.
Yeah, that would probably, you know what, we probably should go into this, what our backgrounds are, simply because that will make this conversation, because you and I know where we stand on this.
And we've never discussed who I am, where I came from.
Right.
And I'm just a fan. And I tell people that because I don't want you to look at me and go, hey, I need to be that guy's buddy, because I'm just a fan. I am a nobody who follows music. I have been, what's the hashtag I'm looking for? Hashtag blessed. Hashtag gifted with the opportunity to follow some of the biggest bands in the region around.
Yep.
Is that fair to say?
That is absolutely fair to say.
And sometimes when I get on rants, it's because I've been on the road with a certain group for 5 years, and this group has seen it all. We've been through it all. We've dealt with a lot.
That's an understatement.
And I've been there at the forefront of it the whole way. So when I get on rants about bands, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you've got to do this together, it's not to say be like this band. And the band that I'm talking about, you want me to go ahead and tell them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, the band I'm talking about is the Velcro Pygmies. Dun dun dun.
Right.
People take my passion and mix it with my intensity, and they take my passion as intensity. Don't ever do that. Don't ever listen to the podcast and be like, this man is just all about the Velcro Pygmies, because I'm not. There was an incident on one of the episodes where I mentioned to a certain artist about a high kick. Wasn't even talking about the Velcro Pygmies, but it came back as he's talking about the Velcro Pygmies.
Right.
And didn't know until yesterday of all days that it could have gotten a little out of hand, but luckily everybody took it back together. My resume looks like this. I've been around the scene since 2006. I've seen from Jimmy and the Pea Pickers all the way up to standing 2 feet in front of Garth Brooks, guys. I've been there. I've done it. It's great. I would do it again tomorrow. Okay? But my biggest success as a person and as a growing connoisseur of live music.
Connoisseur is a good word.
Do you like that word?
I do like that word.
Came from a guy named Kevin Fleener. And I owe a lot of who I am today as a music and fan, live music connoisseur, and as a fan to him, because he saw something in me that I to this day do not see. And he's taught me so much about where music was and where we've come and where we need to go. The word synergy was not in my vocabulary until he told me we lack synergy.
Damn, it's all your fault.
The idea of politics was not in my head until he said something about politics. I'm like, well, if that old crusty man can learn it, I can too. All right, yeah. Not really, I hate politics, but there's so many things that I've learned through watching other bands, though.
Mm-hmm.
And having a comparable is not a fair statement for me to say, because I can't compare one band to the Velcro Pygmies. And I do my best every day not to.
Right.
Because everybody in their own way are their own people.
Right.
However, if we're out at a club and it's dead and we get into a conversation, my first thing to you will be, you need to invite these people in. You need to invite these people to be a part of what you're brewing. Order them a drink per se, but don't really do it. But give them something to come up there and grasp. It's just what you do. And I've been to Pygmy shows that have flopped or have been a failure, and I've seen the show stopped. And I've seen them say, we're not doing this until, or we're going to do it this way until. And it's all about working that fan process like we talked about last week. So that's the biggest hit on my resume when people meet me is, you're Biscuit, you're the guy that is always on the road with the Velcro Pygmies, or
right.
You've been around with these bands because of the Velcro Pygmies, or, you know, I may be the new host on Velcro Pygmies TV, who knows, but it's not my bread and butter. My bread and butter is Biscuit.
Right.
And there's so much more to Biscuit. Isn't that great?
That's funny.
There's so much more to Biscuit that people don't realize, like BiscuitKnowsBest.com, where I would much rather be a life coach and better somebody other than myself before being a fan of music. But music has been so much a part of who I am now and my upbringing, I wouldn't trade it for the world. So I took two and combined them together,
right,
and gave you a big mixing pot. So, did I miss anything on the resume?
No, I think that's pretty good.
I've promoted bands. I've booked bands.
It's pretty good.
We've done benefits. My best benefit ever was for Jacob Sanders.
Right.
And that came on the backs of Chrissy and Max Ward, who we didn't know each other.
Right.
They trusted me with something they they didn't want to trust me with. And I'll never forget having a conversation with Max. He was all about, don't make it about us, don't make it about us. And I don't know you.
Right.
I didn't know you before I lost this guy. And I knew this guy. And I know what this guy would want. And this guy would want us to continue doing what we're doing.
Right.
And talking about the exits of bands, seeing that really just kills me. And I'm sure that we'll have some answers soon on what's really going on with those bands. But
right.
So there you go. So it's not that I'm sitting here just being the weekend warrior, if you would, or the weekend fanboy. I've been around.
Right.
With some of the best, including Hunt and Delilah. And I've known Troy since before Surgestone, or since Surgestone. But we just didn't really connect.
Yeah. It's been a while. And as far as my background goes, is I've spent more years than I care to remember, more years than I'm able to remember, in the music business, both as a musician, as a fan of music. But I started playing when I was about 16 or 17 years old, playing in front of crowds. Been doing it ever since. I spent almost 20 years in the concert industry working with some of those people that you mentioned earlier.
And
like
that makes me so jealous.
Like Mr. Brooks. And
his name's Garth. We're on a personal name.
Okay. But got to work with, everybody from him and Tim McGraw to Blue Man Group and Kiss. So.
And Three Doors Down, you guys can't. Well, you may be able to see it in our screenshot on YouTube, but
I don't know. There's a couple of those laying around.
You got a bunch of all access passes. Anybody else out there got some all access passes we need to know about? Let us know about them.
I got a few, but then I also spent a couple of years out with a band called McQueen Street as a bass tech, living in a tour bus and hotels and 500-mile drives every day, and did that for a couple of years, and that was had a good time with it. But I've been fortunate enough to see things from every level.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really my background, as far as being a musician. I've been fortunate enough to be around to make a lot of mistakes and still do this. So I know the reason all this got brought up is we had a conversation yesterday.
And we do not know everything.
We do not know everything.
Okay.
Not by a long shot.
We did not get together a year ago to start building this just to sit down and say, this is it. We know everything.
Right.
Because I'm telling you, we don't. The only reason I don't bring up on the pod, or I haven't ever brought it up, and I won't bring it up if I meet you in public unless you say, oh, well, I happen to know these guys.
Right. Because
part of being in the situation that I get to be in every weekend and every week for the most part, I tell Cam all the time, I always thank him for taking the magic out of it, because to me it was so magical.
Right.
Coming in and learning these guys and seeing the productions and getting in and backstage and getting out backstage and sneaking around. And
it's a little bit different when you know how the sausage is made.
It's horrible. It's horrible. And I don't bring it up because I was actually cornered in a bar one night when they were like, I think it was up before one in Birmingham closed down, and I had come in late, and of course from the stage I was spotted and got pointed out, and hey, okay, I'm here. And I got cornered by a musician all damn night.
Right.
And it is the worst thing in the world to be that guy. I have zero pull. I can tell you who their management group is.
Right.
I can give you their management group's number, and I can send you on your way. No, and it was, they just wouldn't get the idea.
Right.
Oh, take him this, take him that. No.
Yeah.
I mean,
you take it to them.
There's bands quitting the circuit right now, and it's
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's to me it's one of those things. But the whole reason that any of this got brought up is I did have some people say to me over the week that they thought things got a little tense between us last week. And one of the reasons I wanted to bring this up is because everybody needs to know that you and I are always going to be good. We may have some tense discussions, but that's okay. That's what life is all about.
We're adults. We agree to disagree.
We're grown-ups. Right. Exactly.
Episode 1 is a great reminder of how we can agree to disagree, because it happened.
Absolutely.
And you guys don't know how tense it truly got in here.
Yeah, and we probably are not done with that conversation.
We're not.
But it'll happen again one day. But no, everything's, I had some people talk to me about how tense they thought it got, and
there's a lot
the
of
whole
great
thing
duos.
about because it was brought up, the whole thing about I'm not Cam and this and that and the other, but I mean that's the truth. I'm not. I don't do it, but by the same token, they're also dear friends. I love those guys to death. They're great. I just do things a little different.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. I think every band has to do things their way. And don't get me wrong, me and Cam have had some great discussions where he's given me some great advice that I've followed.
Right.
It's just that everything can't be done the same way that everybody else does it. Otherwise, then.
But for the record, I will never tell you to be like blank. I will never fill that blank in. I will come to you and say, hey, look, it's dead out there.
Right.
There's 150 people in here waiting for that one moment. Why don't you do this? And I think it may have been the way Troy and I know each other, and Troy understands a lot of things about me that sometimes I don't see.
Right.
So it could have been something there that triggered him that was just like, get out of my face. This is my night. I don't need you here.
I'm a little busy at the moment.
But he wasn't. He was standing at the bar waiting. Like, nobody was around him. He was loaning it. Maybe he had to fart. I don't know.
It's very possible.
But, I mean, he could have farted with me. I'd have never known. So, I mean, I don't want people to hear this and be like, that Biscuit guy, he's just going to make us into the Velcro Pygmies, because I'm not. I've consulted other bands that they're still out there. I mean, I get phone calls every now and then, hey, come watch us. Matter of fact, I've got to go to the Biscuit Stadium on Thursday. Speaking of my schedule earlier this week. Because there's a band out there that's asked me to come see them and talk to them and see what we can do to make them better.
Awesome.
And I'll happily do it. Now,
that's what it's all about.
Now, will I tell them that they need a high kick and they need to shake their ass? I probably will. Women like that. And I'm sorry to any dude out there that loves live music like I do.
Unfortunately, I can't high kick. I can't get it up past about my knee, so.
I can't get it up past my knee, so you're doing better than me.
It's the old, I played baseball and was a catcher, and
that's what she said.
I got bad knees.
But and I feel bad for all the dudes out there, because it's like you go to these things and the lead singers are up there shaking it, and the guitar players are dressed like male strippers, and for the most part, I mean, they're wearing tight jeans or leggings or no shirt, and so that's one of the things is the biggest thing you're gonna have to do is bring the females with you.
Very true.
So
very true.
Don't think I don't know what I'm talking about, because I don't know everything, but I've seen it and been around it enough, and I'm excited for the future. So
right,
a lot of cool things coming because of doing this stuff.
So that was all. We just wanted to. We thought we needed to touch back on that subject just to make alleviate anybody's fears and the things. People aren't mad at each other. People aren't disrespecting other bands. People aren't doing this and that.
We laugh. We laugh
about it a lot.
When we leave the studio, we're laughing, I promise. Another reason we have video here tonight, just to make sure everybody realizes that we do a lot of hand signals, so if our video's freezing, it's because Troy didn't pay the electric bill.
That
or the internet.
I did pay it.
Well, it's not doing it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
As long as it's working. So I'm kind of digging the video thing. That's we're just gonna have to deal with some better lighting.
Pulling up Troy. Troy's up.
There he is. Yeah, it's still working. I'm moving my hands. Things are. See now it paused. I think we may just have to.
I did something wrong.
Now we're all dark. It's dark.
And now we're backwards.
Well, now we're backwards.
Hey, Mom. Sorry, guys. We'll get it together.
I think it was the other. Yeah. I think it has something to do with the order that you do them in, or something.
It's something about the touch.
I don't know. It's really kind of cool dealing with some of this technology, and this is if everybody could see everybody sees this side of the room, which we're in my office, so
we're high tech right now.
But this is an area that we've just moved in, and this room hasn't been painted yet, so things were hastily thrown together. So this room also is a lot of storage right now, but we're going to take care of that shortly. But
are we about to have an interior decorating class?
no, definitely not an
Okay.
interior decorating class. As a matter of fact, I'm not real positive where I was going with it, but except for the fact that I was going to say if we turn the camera this way and face this, they would see a jumble of wires and computer screens and stuff going all over the place because we're piecing this together.
I'm actually stuck in a corner right
Yeah.
now. I mean, this is nice. This is real nice.
We're kind of.
I've
There's
been-
a lamp right here that doesn't go there, just so that you can see our faces.
I've been on a YouTube channel that averages 5,000 viewers a week, and I'm stuck in a closet still. So,
Yeah. There you go.
America, if you have a dream and you chase it, maybe one day you'll get to be in the closet too.
That's right. Get to be in the closet.
Lord, I love this thing. So
it's fun though. It's we like playing with the technology, and we're doing this because we're trying to find out what kind of avenue
You guys want.
works great for you guys as to what we're doing. We're trying to make sure that we've got we did get on iTunes. We're supposed to be on Stitcher. For those of you who have ever used the Stitcher app, I know.
Yeah,
Dude, they've been emailed so many times it's not even funny.
Troy wanted to be on Stitcher.
That's right, because
Troy's still not on Stitcher.
I actually use Stitcher is the app that I use to listen to all my podcasts, and I have probably 15 or 20 that I follow pretty regularly, and I do it through Stitcher, and it's a great app, and we're on it. We're just not on it.
Yeah. It's
I
kind
mean,
of
our page, there's like a placeholder page that says Pocket Rock Podcast, but our information and our shows have yet to show up. So I'm going to have to get back on that and try to figure that out. But we're also going to do the YouTube thing now and do a little video and see what that does.
It's pretty neat. This is something, and here we go. Okay, here we go. Prime example. This is something that was introduced to me Friday night while I was at a Velcro Pigment concert. Bam. Bam. Do you see? We're synergizing here. We're using each other for better. Okay. Anyways, it's a great app. And the problem with this app is it only works on Apple products,
Right.
iOS. However,
Fortunately, we're all on Apple products right
right,
now.
and that's the cool thing. Like I said, why am I saying again? Gee whiz.
Man, it's been your night, hasn't it?
We put up 4 cameras yesterday, and it can take up to 9 connections. And we're going to work some interface issues back to the soundboard. So if you see this video because you don't want to listen but you want to see what we're doing, it may sound a little distant and a little distorted.
We'll figure that out shortly.
It's really neat. See, I mean, I can just kick Troy completely out of this thing.
Might as well.
Bam. I look good. That's what I told him. Got my little hat on. Got my what is this? Got my Izod shirt on, roll tide, even though it's the wrong colors. And look over here, we can get Troy pulled up like that.
Yeah. Wearing some Zeppelin. One of my favorite shirts. One of the most comfortable shirts I own. Now let's see if we can get it back to where you can see us both and we're not facing away from each other.
Bam.
There you go. I think we're getting this figured out.
We were
getting the hang of it.
We were trying to figure out who was going to run this thing, and I was watching Troy, and I was like, he's kind of struggling. Let me see if I can't do better, and I'm struggling too.
Yeah. So, but the thing is that the people that are only listening to the podcast are going to be going like, what are they talking about?
Well, you should watch it too.
That's all right. We'll get it up there. It's probably going to be a day or two behind the audio podcast, so we'll try to make sure and do a post to let you guys know where you can find it once we get our
YouTube channel
up and working like we want it to.
Which, I mean, it's all viewpoints for us, so
Absolutely.
we're going to just put it on PocketRockPodcast.com, and you'll be able to go through a link there straight to our YouTube channel.
Yep.
And again, we're not monetized, so every time we point you that direction, you're not paying us. Nobody's getting anything off of us.
It's free.
Matter of fact, let's go through a list of our sponsors. Did we cover everybody?
I think we covered them all.
Okay, it's just like that. So.
Pocket Rock Podcast. That's our main sponsor.
Sponsor ourselves.
That's right.
Yeah, just bought a new mixer board so we can bring you some more good stuff today.
And hopefully we're going to be able to get back on the interview track shortly.
Who fell through this week? Roger Jones fell through this week.
Yep.
Melinda,
due to moving.
Melinda Trussell fell through this week.
and we'll.
Did you say due to quitting? Oh no.
No, I
You didn't say
said
that?
I said due to moving. Roger's in the middle of a move.
Oh, Roger.
So
I love Melinda.
let's see, and I think, you see this is, where is that? Oh, that's. I was looking to see where that was, but they're going to be up in Ohio.
Yeah.
So we'll figure out when we can get them rescheduled.
He's talking about Lynham.
Yep, we're going to get the boys back on the show.
And again, and I feel like this has kind of just been a round robin episode, and that's okay. We've done 2 or 3 of them now out of the 5 we've done, but we're getting there. We're building.
And I have a novel idea.
And,
I have a novel idea.
But I want to put this out there, and I hope
Go
people
ahead.
are still listening. If you want to be on this thing, tell us. If you've got something to promote, or you just want to bring the band on here, or your band, and talk about your band, or talk about who you are,
Absolutely, that's what we're here for.
that's what we want to do. I mean, that's what we're here for. So,
And I have a novel idea.
and I never thought I'd be begging people to call about this thing.
I know. I thought
Nice.
people would be falling over themselves to do their own to get free promotion.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why, we're going to do a Hunting Delilah episode soon.
And you're on here every week.
And I'm on here every week, so
We're not going to talk about the Velcro pygmies that week, I guarantee it.
we might.
I'm not. I ain't going to say nothing. Nothing.
But one thing that I'm gonna throw this out there. We're gonna try something. We'll try a little experiment. If any of the fans out there have any show ideas, things that they'd like to hear us talk about, and it doesn't even have to be music related. How about that?
It can be about what we had for dinner last night.
It could be whatever.
I don't even remember dinner.
Go.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter. I remember what you had. Peanut butter.
Yes.
Had dogs following you around the house.
I had my wife following me around the house with an empty jar of peanut butter.
Oh yeah, she was a little mad.
A little bit.
She was a little mad you didn't leave her any peanut butter.
She likes the chunky kind anyway. That's why she married me.
There you go. But if you have any show ideas, throw them out there. We'll be happy to do that. We're trying to expand what the show is to find kind of our groove, and the best way to do that is to try a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that, and thank you guys for sticking with us while the show evolves into what it will eventually become.
Hey, who knows? I mean, we may have fans on this show at some point.
You never know.
You never know. Wade doesn't count. You couldn't hear him.
That's true.
We told Wade don't get too close to the microphones because we were waiting on another board to come in. So he sat back here and did like this the whole time.
He did.
And we couldn't figure out whose mic was what. And the mics on the screen were showing that they were hitting in our sweet spot.
Yep.
So that was interesting. That's why you couldn't hear him.
Yep.
Craziness, man.
Insanity, technology. But we want to thank you guys for hanging out with us. I think we managed to go a lot longer than I thought we'd go for this episode.
That's what she said.
Did she really?
No.
That's my favorite new saying. That's what she said. Did she really?
No, I could have went to Taco Bell in Prattville, stopped by Walmart, did some grocery shopping, and she still wouldn't have been happy with me about this point.
Yep. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We've had a good time, as we always do, and we learned some things. And thank you, neighbor, for coming along with us this week.
And they're gonna pull us off the air for that.
I don't think so. Because one of the funniest things, I have to play it for you. It's a Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood thing that was done by National Lampoon back in the 70s.
Oh wow!
That will make you cry. It's so funny.
Have to watch that one.
Yeah, it's pretty humorous. But so that's we made it through episode 5. We've gotten 5 in a row.
We've gotten 5 in a row. Tuesdays are now my favorite day. I look forward to just the release at 6 a.m.
Just to be able to listen. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something about this. I hate hearing my own voice, but there's something special about this, and we're building it. So, guys, jump on board with us. Let us know what you're doing. Let us know if you want to be on it, and we'll get you in.
Absolutely. So we'll also say to the camera, bye for this week. Thank you guys for listening to Pocket Rock Podcast. For Pocket Rock Podcast, I'm Troy.
Oh man.
Oh,
I missed it. I'm Biscuit.
It's so close. And we'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to go out and see some live music.
And
We'll see you.
If you don't tell anybody.
That's right. No, you need that one. The bottom. Yeah, there we go. Thank you guys.
Pocket Rock Podcast.